Texas. And coming up at 156 pounds, light middleweights. This is an interesting battle because Paul Vaden and Chris Byrd are the best of friends. They train together, they run together, they room together when they're on the road, but when they get into the ring, they're no longer friendly. Paul Vaden in the red from Puyallup, Washington, home of the Puyallup Tulip Festival. By the way, Mike.
How do you know that, Mel? You've been there.
Man of many interests. And this is Patrick Byrd, Chris Byrd, beg your pardon. He is brother of Patrick Byrd, who we saw earlier. Patrick is the older of the two. Chris is 19. Paul Vaden is 22. And we talked about the friendship, and we asked Paul Vaden, does his friendship with Chris Byrd interfere in any way with his performance in the ring?
I'd say time and time again that we're key competitors, and to show professionalism, you have to eliminate the friendship while you're in the ring. You know, you have to throw that out. I mean, nothing dirty or anything like that, but perform your craft for 9 minutes.
The tail of the tape, about the same height, exactly the same weight. Vaden 3 years older, and a very similar amount of boxing experience. These two have met 4 times in the last 2 years. Each boxer has won twice. Byrd beat Vaden last year for the title at 156 pounds. And in the finals of the U.S. Olympic Festival, Vaden won a decision. Then in the Olympic box office, World Championship box office, Byrd needed 2 wins over Vaden, but they split their bouts. Vaden made the team for the World Championships. Byrd did not.
Well, you're going to see a very unique ring style that Chris Byrd exhibits. Right now, he's in the center of the ring, which is very unusual for Chris. He's usually, his best style is coming bouncing off the ropes. He says he developed that when boxing with brother Patrick in their basement ring, in the basement of their home in Flint, Michigan. And brother Tim, who's in the corner, tells me, Tim Byrd says that that ring was about 10 feet, about half of the normal 20-foot ring. So they used to spar in a phone booth, Mel.
This is a 24-foot ring, by the way. I mentioned Tim Byrd. He's in the corner with Mom Rose. Brother Patrick did not fare too well, and losing to Emmett Linton of Tacoma, Washington at 147 pounds. Vaden has kind of a strange style, straight up. Part of that is due to the fact that he's had a back problem and he has difficulty bending over, but it's a straight-up style. His style is very much like that of a pro boxer. He kind of waits for an opening. He's got a good left hand, very quick with it.
He's a real personality plus kid. In fact, both of these boxers are. Paul Vaden's real idol is Michael Jackson. Wants to be an entertainer. Rose Byrd looking in, hoping that Chris can do what Patrick didn't. That is, win the national championship.
Gene Reese of Chattanooga, Tennessee is the referee for this bout. He's also the unofficial photographer for U.S. Championships. He goes around taking pictures of everyone, and then I think probably picks up a little spare change selling those pictures.
Well, let's see what develops in this bout. Right now, not so much. And both boxers are missing. This may be a case where two boxers know each other too well.
Talked about Vaden liking Michael Jackson, the entertainer, and he was reminded that Jackson only uses one glove. And Vaden says, when I'm boxing poorly, sometimes I feel that way.
Well, you talked about the straight-up style. That was a basketball injury, a high school basketball injury dating back to 1985. Vaden says it doesn't bother him, but looking on the positive side, I got a lot of publicity out of it.
But you see, when he bends his knees and ducks down. He doesn't bend forward with the body.
I'm just amazed that Chris Byrd has yet to be on the ropes. Reminiscent of Michael Nunn, now the IBF middleweight champion, and Muhammad Ali. Chris Byrd has his own version of the rope-a-dope.
A rather uneventful round one in this 156-pound matchup between the two good friends, Paul Vaden and Chris Byrd. Two good friends, Paul Vaden and Chris Byrd, taking it easy on each other so far.
Well, I think, you know, it is a case of being too acquainted with the other boxer's style.
Vaden says it's like boxing myself whenever I box Chris Byrd. He said he's my best friend, but for 9 minutes we're keen competitors, and Byrd said we aren't pals, we're in the ring only before and after the bout.
Well, as we noted earlier, Mel, they've boxed 4 times before, and right now their personal series is even 2-2. So far, this bout is even up. Neither boxer doing too much.
And this rivalry could be coming to an end soon because Byrd has a little bigger frame and may put on some weight, might possibly move up to 165 pounds before long.
Chris Byrd is 6'1", and you don't ordinarily see a 156-pounder that tall. And he's young. At 19, he probably will fill out and probably get up to 165.
A caution to Chris Byrd for holding.
You know, we developed the theme of friendship between the two, but there's a flurry. But Vaden says we ain't pals in the ring. Before and after, yes.
Not a lot of punches being thrown in this bout so far.
Paul Vaden describes their boxing when he boxes Chris Byrd, either in sparring or in a real bout. He says it's like a chess match. Well, they both may be thinking too much right now.
Oh, good right hand by Vaden. He nailed him on the chin.
Excellent right lead. The best. But again, amateur boxing, it's the number of punches. A single punch not meaning that much.
It's not how hard, it's how many.
And we haven't seen how often very much during this.
Caution to Chris Byrd for holding. Holding with one arm and hitting with the other. See, a lot of the European boxers were able to get away with that. They're very cagey about holding the opponent's one arm under their armpit and then banging with the other arm.
Well, both of these guys are so tall and lanky. Vaden is 6 foot, so we have there they go, an exchange. Now, Vaden's trying to get in with the right hand. The right hand lead was his best single punch. That's what you've got to do to beat the typical southpaw.
Vaden sneaking in a left hand at the chin. See the hand speed of Paul Vaden.
I feel like I'm guilty of false advertising, Mel. We have yet to see Chris Byrd come fighting off the ropes.
Most of this bout has taken place in the center of the ring.
Maybe that's one reason Chris Byrd hasn't been that effective.
And I'm sure Vaden wants to stay off the ropes because that's where Byrd is comfortable, and nobody knows it better than Paul Vaden.
Well, you know, Vaden says it's very impressive how it's unique, it's awkward, but he's very impressed how Chris Byrd does that. On the other hand, if you could time a guy coming off the ropes, you can really tag him.
That's the end of round 2. Neither boxer has really stepped forward yet.
Well, it's an awkward mesh of styles.
It's Tim Byrd in his brother's corner. Tim, a former boxer. We also mentioned that Rose Byrd is in the corner tonight. Is she a mom tonight, or is she a boxing coach? Here's what she had to say before the competition.
When I'm in the ring with my boys or with other members of the gym, I cannot afford to feel as if I'm a mother. At that moment, I am their coach, and I have to speak as a coach. And because at home, you know, at mother, we argue back and forth and what have you. In the corner, you can't do that. You know, I give the rule, I give the command, and the coaches give the command. So I'm not a mother in the corner.
That was Rose Byrd, one of several ladies involved in this competition. Jody Smith will be in the corner of Oscar De La Hoya later at 125 pounds. And you heard from Benoria Lindsay, who's a referee and a timekeeper in this competition.
A lot of women involved in amateur boxing.
Round 3, and I think, Mike, both boxers knew at this point they've got to get after it because the winner of this bout might win the bout.
Well, Rose Byrd, Mom Byrd, she just gave a very direct message to her son, Chris. She told him in no uncertain terms, quote, go to work, go to work. And that's what Chris has to do.
No gold, no dinners.
On a serious note, I wonder if the absence of Papa Joe Byrd, who's not here tonight, I wonder if that, you know, is making a difference with Chris.
How much difference does the coach really make in the course of a bout?
Well, you know, if a boxer has a good, solid relationship with the coach, it makes a lot of difference in the 9 minutes of boxing.
I mean, these boxers have an idea of what they want to do, particularly these two, since they faced each other so often.
Well, they know each other quite well, Mel. That's a good point. But sometimes you need a slap in the face or, you know, a pick-me-up in the corner As Shane Mosley, 132-pounder, says, his father tells him things in kind of a mean way in the corner, but he definitely gets the message and corrects his mistakes. Right now, I think the edge in this bout belongs to Paul Vaden. He's landed more punches, and they've been cleaner, sharper punches, landing with the white part of the gloves. Chris is doing what Brother Patrick did in the prior bout, just waiting too much.
You can't wait in amateur boxing. You've got to land scoring blows if you hope to win. Pat Nappy says, he's the three-time U.S. Olympic boxing coach, if you take a professional and a good amateur and put them in an amateur bout under amateur rules, the amateur will win.
Well, a good example of that was the great Cuban heavyweight, three-time Olympic champion Teofilo Stevenson. Might have held his own with Muhammad Ali for 3 rounds.
This is a different style of boxing. It's 3 3-minute rounds. It's a sprint. You've got to land a lot of punches, and Vaden may have landed 2 more than Byrd, but there really haven't been that many scoring blows in this bout.
Well, we've noted that Paul Vaden wants to be an entertainer. He summed it up neatly, saying, I perform my craft for 9 minutes. And that's all it is, amateur boxing, 9 minutes, no more. He's been a little less lethargic than Chris Byrd in this bout. I've got to say, neither boxer, truthfully, has been a ball of fire.
This is not quite what we expected in this bout. I think that the build-up was really too much to live up to. This bout probably got more publicity than any other bout in the U.S. Championships this year because of the friendship and the rivalry between these two.
And also the chance for the 2 Byrd brothers to become the first brothers since Clifford and Bernard Gray in 1982 to win titles.
But obviously that will not happen since Patrick Byrd has already fallen at 147 pounds. So will Paul Vaden or will Chris Byrd come away with the gold? We'll find out in just a moment.
When Olympic boxers step into the ring, they put it all on the line. Years of training, discipline, guts, and pride in a winning tradition.
America's amateur boxers have won more Olympic gold medals than any country in the world. But it takes a lot of money to be the best.
Right. Contributions have supported the great sport of amateur boxing throughout its 100-year history.
Send your donation today to U.S. Boxing, Colorado Springs, and help keep the gold flowing.
Right.
In Colorado Springs, Colorado, temperatures in the 60s as we look at the Broadmoor World Arena, home of many skating champions, including Peggy Fleming. Already 2 defending champions have successfully defended their crowns. Javier Alvarez, Jeremy Williams. Let's see if Chris Byrd will be successful.
Paul Vaden, red corner.
Paul Vaden is the winner. Last year, Byrd beat him for the 156-pound title here in Colorado Springs, but now it's Vaden's turn.
Well, that was you see Mama Byrd, she's smiling, but she can't be happy. Both of her sons losing. But I guess in a way, you know, at least he lost to a very good friend of the family, Paul Vaden. You see his smile lighting up Colorado Springs. I thought it was razor close. 3-2 decision. I think Paul Vaden deserved that victory.
So both Byrd brothers have lost. Patrick lost at 147 pounds to Emmett Liddon. Chris Byrd loses at 156 to Paul Vaden. We'll be right back. Back at the